Hey, what's up, guys? Blaine Duncan here from Halloween Lives, the podcast of Michael Myers, joined week after week by my brother, Austin. What's up, dude? Welcome to episode number 38. We are, well, if you're watching this during the premiere, we are one day away from Halloween 45 Years of Terror, the convention out in Pasadena. If people are watching this live at the premiere, we are literally on an airplane right now. So we're recording this. This is Tuesday. This is the Tuesday before. I don't even know what's the date today. The 26th. We're recording this on the 29th. We're heading to LA. The 30th and the 1st is the convention. Dude, I'm stoked. I can't wait. I'm excited. What more can you say?
It's literally like, and we've talked about this before, that you and I had made plans to get out to LA specifically for the Michael Myers experience. We wanted to get down there and see the Myers house and go, kind of just location, looking around. And then it just it got pushed back because of COVID. And then we just kind of ended up delaying the trip. And then this H45 thing came out and we already had everything we needed to get down there. So it was just perfect timing, man, and it's a long time coming. I'm stoked. I'm terrified monetarily of what's about to happen to me. But it's really a dream come true. And I never would have thought I would be able to get out to one of these, especially after like H40, which looked incredible for the people that were able to get out there. And now to be one of those people is awesome.
It's very cool because, as you mentioned, this was something that we were obviously looking to not necessarily go out to the convention, but like you said, we wanted to go out. We wanted to see some of the filming locations and just kind of do the Michael Myers experience in Pasadena. And then whatever it was sometime last year, there was this breaking news. I believe Matt from Halloween Daily News broke it, that there was this website out there, that Halloween, 45 Years of Terror, or whatever the website was, like this existed. There was this thing, and that there was confirmed to be a reservation for the Pasadena center, whatever the hell this place is called, the convention center. And it was like, dude, if this is legit, we have to go. Like we have to go. And this was in the midst of us getting ready to start this podcast and launch this thing. And here we are, 38 episodes in. We're kicking ass, taking names. We're the only weekly podcast out there 100% dedicated to talking about the Halloween franchise. And GD, do I love doing it with you as my brother, and love having all you guys here to support us. Before we get into talking about Halloween 45 Years of Terror, we did have some breaking news actually came through yesterday. I'm sure by now everybody is well aware of what we're going to talk about, but there is some talks of a new Halloween film, Halloween TV series, whatever it might be. And there is some bidding that's going on. And apparently it comes down to Miramax is the ones actually out there bidding this thing around. So I do want to just read a very brief article because I think it's really important that we talk about this, because where Halloween lives, we want Halloween to go on forever, and it looks like we may get another film. So that may be to the dismay of some of our listeners. I have no idea, but for guys like you and I, we want this thing to go on. So I'm going to just read this very brief article. The rights to the Halloween franchise are reportedly back on the market. There are several lines of continuity in the slasher franchise, which introduced iconic killer Michael Myers in John Carpenter's original 1978 movie. 7 sequels within the various continuities were released through 2002's Halloween Resurrection, which was then followed by Rob Zombie's 2007 remake and its sequel. Most recently, director and co-writer David Gordon Green teamed with Blumhouse for a trilogy of movies between 2018 and 2022 that closed the chapter of the franchise that followed the showdown between Myers and his intended victim, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis. Bloody Disgusting now reports that the rights to the Halloween franchise are back on the market. Miramax is currently shopping around the franchise and igniting a bidding war. The company is looking to studios and streamers alike as potential buyers, with the option to adapt the franchise into either a movie or a television series. Dude, I wish I could fist bump you right now, because I'd fist bump the hell out of you. This is exactly what we want. This is exactly what we're talking about. We're super, super excited to hear this. And I hope this happens. I hope this it's just so exciting. I mean, it's very interesting that Bloody Disgusting is breaking this news literally days before the convention starts out in LA or out in Pasadena. So I have to believe there's going to be some more talk coming up. And we should mention too, we're going to do some random live streams and some things from the convention. We're not going to necessarily do a live show, but we will do some live streams on Instagram and things like that. So make sure you follow us on there, halloween.lives.podcast. So we will, if there's anything that happens, you're going to hear it from us first, because we will be there. But how freaking cool is this, dude? I mean, this is what we live for. We live for this franchise, which is sad to say, but I mean, we do have other interests. We do have other things that we love, but God damn it, we love this. And it's so awesome that we're here and we're talking about this less than a year, bro. Less than a year after getting Halloween Ends, where Michael got turned into dog food. I love it.
It's absolutely nuts. And I think there's some real information out there right now, and then there's some not so real information. Obviously bloody disgusting. We've been reading Bloody Disgusting since we were literally, like, you were a teenager and I was right, knee high to a grasshopper, but like
way too young to be reading it.
Right, absolutely. But it that's absolutely a good source. I've seen some reports, or like, there's a Halloween Movies Facebook page that we've talked about before on the show that has this massive following. They reported the news, and then they added on that, like, Paramount Plus was looking like or Peacock, sorry, was looking like the likely highest bidder, or the most likely for the odds to go with. And I don't know if that is true. But I think there's a big audience now where people are, okay if we don't necessarily get a movie, but a television show, a streaming show that is somewhere in this universe. Personally, I know they are running it into the ground, but give me another movie, man. I'm all the way down for I want a reboot so bad. I'd love to just see a fresh take on everything. And I know we got a reboot in 2007. I just talked about those movies on the last episode, but dude, there's something about, just plain old Haddonfield, a 21-year-old Michael Myers stalking Laurie Strode, man, that that story, as many times as you tell it, I think even if the movie sucks, I'm still going to be grinning ear to ear, ready to watch. It's awesome news, and it's what we do for.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Like we always say, give me more Michael, right? Give me more Michael. We need to make that into a t-shirt. Oh, which brings me up to, we should probably talk about this. We had some drama behind the scenes at the Halloween Lives podcast headquarters this last week. So as you guys know, you probably heard, we announced this t-shirt release that we were doing. And Austin has an example, his own t-shirt. We're not selling it. It's
zero profit.
Zero profit. We've not made any money from that t-shirt. So we pushed this t-shirt out. Spook House Studios, our partner, they pushed this t-shirt out, and within 4 hours of pushing out the t-shirt, we had an email from a VP, a legal VP at Trancas, telling us, hey, you're in violation of our intellectual property and you need to take it down. And he was actually, I will say this, here's the thing. I'm not knocking them at all. They are protecting their IP, which totally get it. Have no qualms with that. No issues whatsoever. Not complaining at all. This dude was very cool. Like, he said, hey, I get it. You guys are fans. Like, it wasn't like some legal, like, really like trying to scare the shit out of his letter. It was just very, hey, we know you guys are fans, but understand that we're trying to protect Michael Myers, essentially, right? So,
right.
Totally get it. But with that being said, we had to remove the t-shirt. We had to remove a couple other things to make sure that we weren't in violation of any of that. We do this out of the love of our hearts anyway. We're not looking to make money off of this podcast in any way. We were looking for a way to help promote the podcast, and obviously any money that we would get in would help us build that in whatever capacity that we want. But we also understand there's a fine legal line that we must walk, and we're not going to cross that line. So we very gladly took the t-shirt down. So to those of you who wanted one t-shirt or wanted a t-shirt, we apologize. We will tell you that we have other t-shirts that we are going to come out with that are going to be 100% original. They're not going to violate any intellectual property of anybody. So we will be getting those out. But I did want to mention that because I'm sure, well, I know for a fact we did have some people reach out to us and like, WTF, where'd your t-shirt go? So that's what happened. Again, no complaints against Trancas. Totally understand where they're coming from. We meant no harm, no foul. So we took that down right away. But that's what happened. So we had some really interesting things going on. Like I said to Austin, I think it's kind of twofold. It sucks that we had to take the t-shirt down. But number two, man, Trancas knows who Halloween Lives, the podcast of Michael Myers is. That's kind of cool, so we're kind of looking at it with a little bit of the kind of the silver lining of the whole thing. But yeah, so sorry guys, that t-shirt that Austin had behind him, which we've made zero money from. We're not going to make any money from it because we're not selling it. That one will not be sold. That is his personal copy there that he's still going to wear to H45. So if you guys see us walking around, one of us, if not both of us, are going to have that t-shirt on. Still a sweet t-shirt. Yeah, make sure you guys hit us up if you see us. Anyway, did want to mention that before we go. This is a little bit of a sporadic episode. I'm not going to lie. We're kind of all over the place, but we're super excited because we're going to H45. And that's ultimately what we're here to talk about tonight. Wanted to mention real quick, well, not real quick, but I think we should go into a few of the details that we know of so far. So there have been some changes. Yeah. Breaking news. And I don't think that we have actually received this information from the Horror Hound Instagram or the official Halloween 45 Years of Terror Instagram, but there have been a couple cancellations, and I don't know if you're even aware of this yet. Are you aware? Did they break this online?
There are two that are officially broken on the website.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have more than two.
That's so it looks like Charles Cyphers unfortunately had to cancel. And it says due to medical reasons. So, whatever he's going through, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's nothing serious and we can get him at more conventions in the future. Cause he was one that I was going to get my mask signed by. He's just a cool dude. Yeah. Obviously played Sheriff Brackett in 78. And then Scout Taylor Compton, which really surprised me. She had to cancel due to work. So once again, I was planning on getting her autograph as well. She's one of two Laurie Strodes. Was planning on doing it. I should have done it last year. She was at this Crypticon Minneapolis convention that I was at last year and didn't get her autograph. Wish I would have. Don't know why I didn't. I'm an idiot. But she's not going to be there. So for those of you who are hoping to get either one of those, they're unfortunately not going to be there. But let's just go through the rundown. And here's the one thing that I do want to say. And I sent you a text earlier today. And Sean Clark, who was gracious enough to come on our show a few weeks back, he's like the head honcho, the guy pulling the strings behind the scenes with everything that's happening here. He posted something that there is going to be a special Horrors Hallowed Grounds embroidered pumpkin patch, meaning patch as far as like patch of your sleeve or put a patch on your sleeve. And that's going to be limited to 100 units. However, he did say, and again, this was just posted, in the middle of the night, kind of last night, I believe, or this morning, is that he said, it's almost time. H45 is going to be the biggest and best Halloween convention yet. So many surprises coming. So, dude, we're literally like 3 days away from this convention, and there's still things that are going to be announced. Crossing my fingers. I said to you yesterday, I sent you a text and I was like, dude, today's the day. I can feel it. They're going to either announce John Carpenter or Jamie Lee Curtis. They're going to do it. Yesterday came and went. We're still not there, but I do believe one of the two, if not both, are still going to be announced for this thing. What do you think?
If you go on, now this is going to be airing Friday. But if you go on the Halloween H45 website right now, at the bottom of the guest list, after the cancellations, there are, let me tell you exactly.
There's three.
There are three TBA, to be announced, guest slots.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe that's just how the webpage goes, and they've always had a, kind of an allotted amount of these to be announced spots. But, at a certain point, man, like we're less than a week away, and you are still in promoting that there are more announcements coming. For me, man, that can't be, the dog that started in 1978's Halloween. You gotta have some big stuff coming out. And I'm crossing my fingers too. But it is certainly coming down to the wire. If neither of those two people are there, I will still be, ecstatic at this whole thing. But there will be a different energy walking into the building, knowing that Jamie Lee Curtis or John Carpenter are in the building. And am I about to blow my bankroll on one, if not both of those? Yes. And yes, it's a different ball game then. Either way, like I said, still super pumped. But yeah, it is interesting to hear that surprises are coming.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, this is John Carpenter's baby. This is a celebration of the gift that he gave the world as far as Halloween. I do not think he's going to pass this up unless he's got something else going on behind the scenes that legally he can't, or I don't think he is not shied away or shunned this movie and this franchise in the way that, quite honestly, Jamie Lee Curtis has or had in past years. And I don't mean that necessarily negatively, but she just hasn't embraced it, I guess. Previous to 2018, there were some comments that had come out that, she really was kind of over the whole thing and didn't really want a whole lot to do with it. Which I get, right? I mean, she's an Academy Award winning, actress at this point. She doesn't want to be necessarily known as one of her biggest films, or maybe her biggest film being like this, the slasher film, which I get. I'm not saying that's bad. But John Carpenter has always fully embraced this thing, right? I mean, I think he's shared some frustrations over the years with maybe the direction that they've gone with the franchise through the multiple sequels that we've had. But he's always been very supportive of this franchise, and he's done a lot of conventions and things like that. So, man, if Jamie Lee is not at this convention this year, she will never be at another one. Guaranteed, she will not be. She's not going to be at H50. She's not going to be at anything else. This is it. And though I hope that there is an H50, if she's not here with riding what we just had with the trilogy that just came out in the last few years, if she's not riding that wave right now, she's definitely not getting back on the surfboard 5 years from now and saying, hey, I'm back in the game. So we'll see. Let's hope by the time this episode airs, hopefully when you guys are listening to this thing right now, hopefully it's Friday morning and you guys are going, guys, you're on an airplane, but guess what? They just announced Jamie Lee Curtis, and we're going to land in LA and be like, holy shit, they just announced Jamie Lee Curtis. I hope that's what happens. Or maybe it's already happened. I don't know. But either way, we're super excited. Going to run down the guest list for you here. I wish we had like a dollar signs, like sound, or like a cha-ching, cha-ching, because I feel like that's what I'm hearing in my head as I read through most of these people.
100%.
And one thing I should say too is, you and I just talked about right before we got on the air here, is we are going to be like, we have to do this. There is a photo op with Tyler Mane in his Michael Myers costume, like the mask and the jumpsuit. We have to do that. Like you have to. It's $100. It's $100 well spent, because to get a photo taken, a professional photo taken, literally with one of the Michael Myers, Michael Myers in full costume, sign me up. I'm doing that any day of the week. I wish more of them were doing it, quite honestly. I mean, my bank account doesn't, but I wish there were more of them. I think that's awesome, dude. How cool is that?
I mean, that's literally, it's different. I don't want to say it's different, because I'm definitely, when I meet like Nick Castle, I'm going to be through the roof. Right. But when you meet the guy who played Michael Myers, and he's not just the guy who played Michael Myers now. He is Michael Myers. Like, that is the closest thing you and I can ever get to being next to the real Michael Myers. And I mean, it's not even close. It is the situation. What a cool thing of Tyler Mane to do. And, I drafted him. Blaine said he hated him the whole time. He never wanted anything to do with him. I drafted him on my my Halloween Lives draft.
He's your Michael.
Yeah, I'll let him know that. No,
right. As he pounds me into the dirt.
Exactly. Obviously, we're both huge fans of Tyler Mane, and we are going to look like teeny little shrimp, even though both you and I are relatively tall human beings.
Right. It kind of sucks because I already have his autograph. I have his autograph. So I have this mask, as I'm sure if you followed our Instagram account, I know you talked about it on the show last week. I have this mask that I want to get signed. I might have to just drop $50 or whatever he's charging for an autograph just so I can get him to sign my damn mask. But super cool opportunity. We're taking advantage of that. We're going to spend the $100 to meet him in person in costume. So we'll make sure, when we come back that we throw that up on all our social media pages. And we are, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a little bit of live streaming as well, not only from the convention, but maybe even just from the hotel, checking in on Friday and Saturday night. But we're also going to do a little bit of filming while we're out there. We're probably going to put together a little, I don't know what you want to call it, montage, if you will, of our trip. So people can live vicariously through us as we did for the H40 convention when other people did the exact same thing. So, all right, let's go to the guest list. All right. And I'm going to just kind of ramble through these, rock through them. If there's anything you want to mention, just stop me. But otherwise, I'm going to just read through them. Nick Castle, Nancy Loomis, PJ Souls, John Michael Graham, Will Sandin, Brent LePage, friend of the show, Sandy Johnson, Erwin Yablans, Mickey Yablans, Gwen Van Dam, Tommy Lee Wallace. God, I cannot wait. Rick Rosenthal. Again, very cool. Like that they're getting, there's a couple directors that are going to be there. Dick Warlock, super awesome. Lance Guest, Leo Rossi, Gloria Gifford, Adam Gunn, Jeffrey Kramer, just announced this past week, Alan Howarth, who did the scores for many of the Halloween films. Super cool. Tom Atkins, Stacy Nelkin. Let's see, I can't even read this one. Jadine Barber, who is the mom from Halloween 3. Brad Schachter, Tom Morgan, Eric Preston, Kathleen Kinmont. She was also announced this week from Halloween 4. Sasha Jensen, Don Shanks, Matt Walker, Jeffrey Landman, A. Michael Lerner, Brad Harden, Chris Durand, another friend of the show, Steve Miner, really good friend of the show, Brad Lurie. I'll talk about Brad Lurie. I know you did a little bit last week, but I'm going to talk about Brad Lurie here in a minute because he's such a freaking awesome dude. Gary Clayton, Tyler Main, Malcolm McDowell, Danielle Harris, Christina Klebe, or Klebe, I'm not sure what it is. I apologize, but I don't know what it is. Dag Farch, D. Wallace, met D. Wallace last week. I'll talk about her as well. Ken Faree, Casey Hendershot, Dan Roebuck, Adrian Barbeau, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Sylvia Jeffries, Richard Blake, Chase Wright Vanek, Dwayne Whitaker, James Jude Courtney, met him, awesome dude, Christopher Nelson, Cody Robinson, Rian Reese, Marion Singh, Diva Tyler, Carmela McNeil, Michael Smallwood, Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Longstreet, Aaron Armstrong, Tom Jones Jr., Doug Tate, Rowan Campbell, Corey DeMeyers, Michelle Dawson, another friend of the show. Can't wait to meet her. Jesse C. Boyd, and Steph Hutchinson, which I'm not, I don't want to be a douche, but I don't know who that is. I got to figure that out.
He is a writer for Halloween Night Dance, it says. Which I believe is a graphic novel.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, awesing. And then, as you mentioned, Charles Cyphers and Scout Taylor Compton, both unfortunately had to cancel. But man, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's what's going through my head every single time. I mean, here's the thing that, autographs have become so expensive, and I get these people want to get paid. Not arguing that at all. But man, some of these people are going to be charging a lot of money. I mean, and I'm guessing if Jamie Lee Curtis is there and if John Carpenter's there, they're going to easily be 100, 150, 200. I have no idea, but they're going to be charging a lot of money. So, I mean, people who want to go to this thing, you better bring your cash. Cause I think a lot of these celebs don't take a card at their booths. They want cash. So make sure you guys are bringing cash. If you're going to that, cash is king. And I can't imagine if there's any ATMs there, they're going to have cash for very long. Cause I think the cash is really going to be flowing through those places. And here's the thing, dude, autographs, meeting, Tyler Mane in costume. And then we're not even talking about the vendor booths yet. Like H45 is going to have their own table. Horror's Hallowed Ground is going to have their own table. Horror Hound is going to have their own table. They've been releasing some like special edition t-shirts, Fright Rags, like some special edition t-shirts that they're going to have for H45. Dude, I'm going to be broke. People are like joking, or we're joking about this, but I can't go there. And this is really probably a once in a lifetime thing for me. I can't go there and not buy this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to have to spend some money. So if you are going to H45, make sure you're bringing cash, because I think there's going to be a lot of people getting turned around at the end of the line being told, hey, it's cash only. So if you've never been to a convention before, bring some cash. But yeah, let's talk about, give me your top 3 that you're looking forward to meeting, seeing, getting an autograph from, whatever it might be. Give me your top 3 if you could.
So here's what I'll say. I've written down my musts, like I won't walk out without them. And these are just of the people that have been announced as of Tuesday, September 26th. And it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 musts.
Okay.
And I'm gonna
tell me what are your 8, and then give me like your top 3. Like they don't need to be in any particular order for your 8.
I think I do have them kind of like in the absolute necessity. Like I will wait the longest line for this. And number 1 is Nick Castle for me. Mm-hmm. I will absolutely stand in line, pay as much as I have to meet the guy, because from there on I can watch my favorite movie of all time and be like, dude, I freaking shook his hand and, met the guy. Then I've got like Dick Warlock and James Jude Courtney on there that I absolutely have to meet. They're some of my favorite Michael Myers. I'm 100% going to go talk to Roanne Campbell and tell him what I think of Halloween Ends and how much his character means to me as a lifelong fan of the series. And then a big one that I didn't really think about until it was announced, and he was only announced a couple weeks ago, is Malcolm McDowell. I'm a huge fan of the Clockwork Orange. And just like, he means a lot to me outside of just Halloween, because I don't really appreciate the way his character was done, especially in that second movie. And then obviously Daniel Harris, Tom Atkins, and closing my list of like, absolutely have to go talk to them, is Mr. Ken Faree.
Oh yeah, Mr. Ken Faree. Yep. We can't forget about that. Yeah, we'll have to play the video for him, see if he remembers doing that. He probably does. He probably does 1,000 of those things a month. But see if he remembers the video talking about the podcast. That's a great list, dude. My number is unfortunately higher. I have more than 8, which, I mean, here's the thing is let me back up before I give you who I want to meet. So, let me see if I can grab this mask here. I got to move a couple things out of the way. But the other weekend, as Austin mentioned, I went to Crypticon Minneapolis. It's a convention that's been going on here for probably, I don't know, the past 14, 15 years, something like that. I've been going to it for probably the past 10 or 12. It's been going on for quite a while. There have been actors over the years who have been at that, who have been a part of the Halloween franchise in some capacity. George Wilbur, for instance, met George Wilbur. You and I actually met George Wilbur at one of the Crypticon conventions. And, selfishly, I have passed on many autographs over the years for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I've kind of been a little bit like, I'm not paying that to meet somebody. I've had that attitude a little bit in some cases. I've also just had the attitude of, I don't have anywhere to put anything anymore. I mean, you guys are just seeing a small part of this Halloween horror room that I'm in right now. But I mean, literally the walls are filled. Like I just don't have room to put like a bunch of 8x10 autographs. But I've realized that, we are not going to have these people around forever. This franchise, these movies mean so much to me that if I pass up on these people, I may never get that opportunity again. And in some cases, I won't. George Wilbur, I will never get the opportunity to meet George Wilbur again. And if he were out there this year, 100%, I would be standing in line and getting his autograph again on my mask. So what I ended up doing, this goes back 6-7 months ago now. I ended up buying a Trick or Treat Studios Boogeyman mask, which I think is just a great pull. It's a great, or it's a, you know, it's a great sculpt, I should say. Really awesome mask. I just love the shape of it. And I ended up buying that and was going to have you rehaul it. And then I just decided here recently, I was like, you know what? I need to get a mask signed. If I'm going to have anything signed, if I'm going to display anything, I need to get a mask signed. Well, fortunately for me, Crypticon Minneapolis rolled into town. James Jude Courtney, Brad Loree, and Dee Wallace were all at this convention. So I was fortunate enough, and I'll show it on camera here for those of you who are watching. You know, there's James Jude Courtney there. There's Brad Loree there. And then I've got Dee Wallace, try to get the glare off. There you go. Dee Wallace over there. I just decided, man, I gotta get these autographs, you know? So I think for me, as much as I joke and I say, damn, this is going to hit my bank account hard, it's 100% well worth it for me because number one, I don't know if there will be an H50. We can't count on that, right? But number two, some of these people, unfortunately, whether we like to admit it or not, are not going to be around in 5 years. And if I don't take this opportunity now, you know, Jim Winbird, another example, could have met him literally last year, but I was like, I'm not going to spend, I think he was charging $40 for an autograph. I'm not going to pay $40 to meet Jim Winbird, and he was in the movie for 28 seconds, not even 12 seconds, whatever it was, right? I mean, just super small amount of time. I kicked myself today. $40 is a drop in the bucket compared to a lifetime of memories, and obviously having his autograph on a mask or an 8x10 or whatever it might be. So I am going to take this opportunity to not only break my bank, but I'm going to do it with a purpose because I want to make sure that these memories live on forever, and that's going to be on a mask that I'm going to have forever, where I've got these autographs. So I'm going to hit you with the people who are 100% musts for me, but there are others on this list who, depending on what they're charging and depending on how long their lines are going to be people that are kind of maybe just a tier down, that not taking away anything that they've ever done from this franchise, but they're not going to be my go-tos right away. They're going to be my, hey, if I have time that second day, I'm going to go hit them up. But here's my list. I'm going to just hit you with them. Nick Castle, Nancy Loomis, PJ Souls, Sandy Johnson, Tommy Lee Wallace, Rick Rosenthal, Dick Warlock, Tom Atkins, Stacy Nelkin, Don Shanks, Michael A. Lerner, Chris Durand, Tyler Main, most likely, Danielle Harris, and let's see, I got James Jude Courtney on there already. Rowan Campbell, Michelle Dawson. Like, I don't know how many people that is. That's probably 12 people right there. I wasn't counting, but sure, those are going to be my need tos. And there are other people on that list that, I mean, quite honestly, yeah, Scout Taylor Compton and Charles Cyphers would have been on that list too. But there are other people that, like Steve Miner. I would love to get Steve Miner's autograph. You know, Alan Howarth would love to get his autograph. Sasha Jensen would love to get his autograph. You know, there's so Malcolm McDowell. I would love to get his autograph. There are, dude, the list is long, and fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, there is only so much room to, you know, put autographs on this thing. And it was funny because when I met James Jude Courtney a couple weeks ago, last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, he's like, you want me to personalize it? And I was like, fuck yeah. Personalize this thing. And then it literally like took up the entire cheek. Here, let me get that. Like, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize you're going to like take up the whole thing. I love it nonetheless. I'm not ever going to complain about that, but it just, you know, obviously shrinks down the area where other people can autograph. And I'm sure he wasn't thinking that I'm going to be doing, I didn't tell him that I was going to be doing this, but it was so cool. So James Jude Courtney was an awesome dude. Talked to him for probably, you know, maybe about a minute or so. Told him a little bit about the podcast, talked about a few things that we're not going to talk about quite yet, but there could be some potential there. Really just awesome dude. And, very sort of down to earth. I mean, almost like he felt like I had met him before in a way. I mean, it was just very weird. So he was really, really cool. If you've not met him yet and you're going to H45, give him your money, get that autograph, shake his hand, because you will not regret it. And then Brad Lurie, Jesus Christ, is he a cool dude? I'm not even kidding you when I say he is like a long lost friend. It's so true. Like, okay, so we got there, and I go, I go with it I go to Crypticon with my cousin, or our cousin, I should say. We've been going for a very long time together, and we're walking around the convention, and I walk past James Hugh Courtney, and I didn't have my mask with me at that point, but I was walking around seeing what people were charging for autographs and doing that whole thing. Come around the corner, and there's Brad sitting there, and he was talking to a couple security guys at the time, so I just kind of waited around for a second, and they moved on, and he's like, Blaine Duncan, and I was like, damn, Brad Lurie knows who I am. That is freaking badass. And I, shook his hand. I'm like, what's up, dude? And how was your flight? And this, that, and the other thing. And he was just, I mean, he was cracking jokes, and like, just a really, he's a really loud dude. Kind of just really takes over the whole room that he's in. And it's awesome. I mean, he's just such a cool guy, down to earth. But I was like, dude, I've got my mask. I'm going back to my hotel room. I'm going to grab it, come down here, have you sign it. And I ran into him several times throughout the weekend. It was funny because we kept meeting up at the elevators. Like in the morning, it happened once in the morning and once at night, where in the morning he was coming off the elevator. I was on the first floor, and he was actually, coming off the elevator, and we ran into each other, talked to him again for like 2 minutes, just standing in the hallway by the elevator. And then I think it was the next night he was going back up to his room. Same deal. I just happened to meet him at the elevator, and we just bullshitted. I mean, it was just just so cool because, I mean, as we've talked about, Halloween Resurrection does hold a special place in my heart personally. And I know it does in yours too, but There was the first Halloween film that I saw in the theaters. First Halloween, Michael Myers mask that I ever owned belonged to the face behind that was Brad Lurie. So to stand and talk to the dude. And here's the thing that was so crazy. And I remember this when I met Kane Hodder at Crypticon probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I walked behind Brad for a minute. Like when I saw him coming off the elevator, the second day or whatever day it was, shook hands, said, "Hey, have a good day, whatever. I'll see you later." He started walking down the hallway in front of me. I was like, dude, fucking Michael Myers, bro. like seriously, I'm not even jokingly. Like when he was walking, instantly I could see in Halloween 8 him walking down the hallway in the beginning opening scenes where he's chasing after Jamie. I swear to God, it was like, holy shit, that's Brad Lurie. And I had a very similar experience seeing Kane Hodder walk. Like it was like just that muscular, just like heavy movements, like just a big dude. And that was so cool. But then I got a chance to meet Dee Wallace, kind of going back to my conversation about like, you got to check that box if you're a fan of anything and you're asking yourself whether you should do it or not. She was charging $40 for an autograph. And I was like, you know what? Dee Wallace was not only in the Rob Zombie's Halloween, but she's been in a couple other films that I really love. House of the Devil. She was in Lords of Salem, which I absolutely love. Cujo, things like that. And I'm like, I'm going to go give her $40 because she's been on a lot of shit that I like. And she was a sweetheart. Very, I hate to say it, but like very like a grandma. Like she's, I think she's like 74, 75 years old. And she was just very sweet. Told me she liked my name. She made fun of my accent a little bit because I was like, "Hey, is Minnesota treating you nice?" And she's like, "Oh, Minnesota." She was like doing like that. But she was an absolute sweetheart. And it was just amazing. So that's sort of my Crypticon story. Sorry, it's a little bit of a tangent there, but I'm going to spend a shit ton of money no matter what. H45 is going to be awesome. Can't wait to be doing it with you. It's going to be a blast, dude. I'm like electrified right now just with the excitement of what this weekend is going to look like for us.
Yeah, literally I'm going to once we're done filming this, I'm literally going to go start doing my laundry to make sure I have exactly what I need, start packing, get things in order because
hey, pack socks, will you? Austin and I took a trip one time and he didn't pack fucking socks. I don't know how you do that as a grown man. Pack some socks.
I don't remember this, but it's so in like in theme with me. It's very on brand.
You did it. That was like socks. 3 summers ago. You were like, oh, I didn't pack socks. And I'm like, cool. Do you want to stop and get some? And you're like, no, that's all right. I'll just wear the same ones.
I think that was broke college me, and now I'm broke after college me. But even broke after college me would be like, yeah, let's just go buy a pair at Walmart or something. No, I will pack socks. I'll pack everything we need. I'm going to be bringing a Michael Myers mask. I have a Rob Zombie mask that's unfortunately not one of the new ones. Though, stick around on this show because I have big plans, and I know I haven't done anything with Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends yet, but big plans for these new line of Tots masks that came out. But I'm going to bring my Rob Zombie mask and have Tyler Mane sign that because, and yeah, he wasn't even on my list of what I read off, but like Tyler Mane, Brad Laree, there's guys that I'm gonna see, and even if I'm not thinking of it yet, I'm gonna see him out there. I'm gonna look at you and be like, dude, I gotta go do it. Even if it's not for an autograph, even if they're doing, just a photo op, quick photo with them, meet and greet type situation, I'm gonna be doing it. And
exactly. It's going to be a blast, dude. It's going to be super cool. I mean, it's a trip we've been looking forward to for a long time. We're going to get to see the Myers house, going to get to go to some different filming locations. We're not doing the bus tour thing, which is unfortunate. We're not getting in time to do it that day. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So, by the time you guys see this episode, H45 is going to almost be in full swing. And the next time you see us, we will, like I said, we're going to be doing some live streaming stuff from the convention center. And then we'll obviously probably hit you guys up at night from the hotel. But by the time you see the next episode, episode 39, it's going to be post H45. We're going to give you the full update on how it went and give you the lowdown on it. But that is going to do it for this episode of Halloween Lives, a podcast of Michael Myers, episode number 38. Man, we're LA bound, and I cannot fricking wait. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to all of our new subscribers. If you've not followed us on Instagram, make sure you do that. If you've not followed us or subscribed to us on YouTube, do that as well. We certainly appreciate it. Love the support that you guys give us week after week. And we have a lot more coming your way and can't wait to bring you more news on H45 as we see it. So I'm Blaine Duncan. That is my brother, Austin. And we're leaving on a jet plane, baby. See you guys next week.
If you see us there, say hello.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Time out. Yeah, you're right. If you see us, please stop and say something. Like, if you see something, say something. If you see us, stop and say hi, please. For the love
Here's what I'll say. I've ran into some like internet people I've seen online and stuff, and I've been like, oh, I don't know if I should say hi or like if this is weird. It's not going to be freaking weird. We're going to think the world of it. If any of you even know who the hell we are,
right?
And we're probably just as excited to meet you, vice versa. So yeah, if you see us, even if you're not a huge fan of the show, just be like, hey guys, I've watched a couple episodes of your thing. We're gonna be ecstatic to meet you. That's all I gotta say. Blaine, roll us out a second time, please.
Yeah, that's it, guys. We'll see you next week, episode 38. See ya.